And welcome to my channel. I'm Kristen, and today we're using some wood to create some really fun DIYs for fall and Halloween. All right, so I have some scrap wood in my garage, and this has been in there for probably a good year. So I thought that I would cut some of this down. It's already cut down. We just use a miter saw to cut everything, and then now I'm going to go ahead and sand these down really nice so I can start painting. Obviously, if you have some rough edges, you're going to want to sand, whether you have a hand sander or an electric one like the one I'm using. All right, so for this first DIY, I'm going to use 3 of these pieces right here. I'm trying to figure out exactly why I cut them and how I cut them and why I cut them the way I did. And then I'm also using this longer piece as well, and I'm going to go ahead and paint all 4 of those wood pieces orange. We're going to create a really fun jack-o'-lantern stand, and I say we, but I feel like that if you're watching, you're kind of crafting along, right? So anyways, we're gonna just go ahead and, like I said, paint this. I did the front and the back side because you may or may not be able to see both sides. These were 2 extra pieces that I had left over, and I figured we might as well use those as well. And those are just gonna be to hold this sign up. These are some really thick pieces. They are some 2x4s. We used them from when we redid our goat fence last fall. I want to say it was last fall or last summer. Anyways, so like I said, they've been around for a while. I'm using this Chalk Couture Silkscreen Transfer. This is from this year, and I just got this recently, and I was like, I want to do some Halloween stuff. I want to Halloween craft this year. I normally do not do that, so if Halloween is not your thing, you can keep scrolling or keep watching because I do end up making some items that are not Halloween. So it's fall and Halloween. But if you're good at drawing on things, you wouldn't need these transfers, but I cannot make or draw or make 2 eyes the same, so I figured, you know what, this is going to work perfect. Once that is on, I wanted this little jack-o'-lanterns shining bright sign. I thought this one was really cute, and then we're going to end up putting them all together. I am just going to use the color Velvet Chalk Paste. This is by Chalk Couture as well. And right now, Chalk Couture is having some amazing sales on some of their Halloween transfers. So if you are looking to get into it, and yes, it can be super pricey, but if you keep looking at their sales, they sometimes have transfers as low as $4, sometimes even cheaper. It just really depends on if they're trying to get rid of them. Right now they are, because they are going to start bringing in some Christmas transfers in September. So to get some fall, specifically Halloween right now, I just seen a ton of really good ones for super inexpensive. These wood stems are from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to go ahead and attach 3 of these. I kind of thought about grabbing some larger ones and cutting them down from outside, but kind of just stuck with these. I think that they work. And then now I'm just trying to line everything up so I can glue these together. So yes, I am just using a glue stick, but I think the Gorilla glue sticks work absolutely amazing, or the hot glue sticks. They are awesome, and I don't know what it is about those versus anything else, but they will hold wood together like no other. So, and I didn't use E6000, nothing like that, because I honestly think it holds up really, really well. And then those black pieces I just glued to the back side just to hold this up since it is super heavy. This raffia is from Hobby Lobby. I could not find this anywhere else. It was $4.99 a bag, but a little bit goes a long way. So I actually have more than half a bag, almost like a full entire bag, even after I did all of the crafts in this video. Also just gluing on some stems, also making some twine bows. I didn't want them all the same, so I did just make each of them just a tiny bit different in this, but I think this turned out so cute. And it was so inexpensive to make. So always save your scrap wood. I wanted to get rid of this because I had no ideas what to do with it, and I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I kept it because this is just absolutely adorable. And I'm not a Halloween person, but after doing some Halloween crafts, I kind of am now. This next DIY, I am using the color Hazelnut, and this is by Waverly Chalk Paint. I'm using 3 different size wood pieces, and this is all the 2x4 scrap wood that I had. Nothing is different, it's all the same. And then I just kind of eyeballed it and cut it down to the sizes that I wanted. I want to say these are no more than like 8 to 10 inches long. And then I went ahead and used my Cricut to make some scarecrow faces. Now, I have seen these on Pinterest and Facebook for years, and it just never wanted to make them. Like, scarecrows are super cute, don't get me wrong. I just don't really make a whole lot, but like I said, I'm not good with faces. If you don't have a Cricut, you can always draw these on. I see so many people use some really great acrylic markers. My daughter uses the Posca markers, which are amazing, but I guess if you're just going to draw some scarecrow faces, then it's probably not worth the money. She draws and uses them all the time, and they're really awesome. I'd say that they are probably the best ones, but I guess if you're just going to, like I said, draw scarecrow faces, you might as well just get some cheap and expensive ones, or I don't know, just paint them on. It works. It all works. So use what you have. It doesn't matter what anyone else uses. I feel like I try to say this more in my videos recently just because things are so expensive and high priced, and you don't need to buy a Cricut. You don't need to buy all the fancy things that everybody makes. You just use what you have, and if it works, it works. And if you save your money and you want to get an awesome Cricut, I mean, I highly recommend to get one if you can afford one. If not, you know what? Just use what you have. Maybe some stickers. If you have stickers that maybe scarecrow faces, sometimes Amazon has cool stuff like that. I'll see if I can find any, and I'll link them below if I can. If I don't link them below, it's because I couldn't find any. And then I'm just using some burlap. This roll was from a yard sale for 50 cents, which I thought was awesome. So I just cut it down to the size or the width of my scarecrow or my wood piece. And then I'm just going to go ahead and just tie the top with some twine. And I just kind of eyeballed this as well. So I was just trying to figure out which way looked better or which hat looked the cutest. And if it looked weird, I just cut the twine and redid it. It wasn't really a big deal, and it was kind of super easy to do. I've seen these hats done, and I think the hats is what was so intimidating when I seen these on Pinterest, because I'm like, I can't make those hats. Of course I can make these hats. They're so easy to do. And then I used some raffia just to do a bunch of different hairstyles. I feel like my scarecrows actually turned out to be like little surfers with the blonde, like bleach blonde hair. That's just kind of what they remind me of, because the hair or the raffia was always like kind of flipped outwards, but I think they were so cute. This one is a little girl, has like eyelashes, and I just decided to add a sunflower for this one and then some longer hair. It's fun because you can just create these however you'd like. You can even make like bangs for these scarecrows. They're just, the possibilities are endless. And if you don't have scrap wood, you can always grab a couple pieces of wood from the Dollar Tree, kind of similar to this. I think it's a little bit thinner, and glue them together, and you'd be able to create your own scarecrows. I did make 3 of these. I didn't want to keep showing the same thing over and over again because I figured you got the gist of it after I made the second one, but I think these turned out adorable. Three pieces of wood for this as well, and I am just using some black chalk paint. Now this is from Dollar General. I just went and bought another bottle because I used the one I had. I will tell you what, mine has ivory and white now, and maybe one other color. They're $3, which I think is an awesome deal, because at Walmart, the Waverly chalk paint, I want to say is like $8 for the same size. So run to Dollar General, check it out. You will not be disappointed in their chalk paint. It works amazing. Now, I am using this Crackle. I want to say it's paint, but it must be some sort of like paste. It was so thick. I have used this one time before. This is from a Dixie Belle, but I know you can get it off of Chocolatour right now, actually, and Amazon, all different kinds of places. But so the way you have to do this is you have to use it in like one stroke motion. So you obviously want everything to be the same stroke with the Crackle paint, because if you don't, it looks really weird. The first time I used it, I didn't look at the directions. I just assumed I knew what I was doing, and it just looked just very messed up and very not put together. So always do like the same stroke. Like don't go like one way and then don't go horizontal and then vertical. Just, you know, same way. And then I am going ahead and once that Crackle paint or that Crackle gel was dry, I went ahead with my Waverly chalk paint. I want to say this is the color pumpkin. If it's not pumpkin, it's orange. It's the only one that Waverly sells. And then I'm just going over the 3 of these, and I did end up blow drying. I always have a hair dryer on hand because it just makes crafting and the paint dry obviously so much faster. But I went around all the edges. I did do the fronts and backs of these too. Normally I am that person that does not do fronts and backs of anything. But short story long, when you are using Crackle paint, so you're going to see that the black is starting to show through the orange, and obviously your first coat of whatever color paint you choose is going to show through that top paint once you do the Crackle. It's literally like a 3-layer process, but I promise you it is so easy. And this just took me a day to do. So sometimes when I use the hairdryer, I use like the hottest setting and it starts to kind of bubble my paint up, but you can fix it by sanding it. I'm using the same wood stems. These are from Dollar Tree, and this is that Super Moss Raffia $4.99 from Hobby Lobby. And then I just cut it down and then just tied the raffia around the stems. And then you can add bows, greenery, whatever you choose. I just decided to go kind of plain on some of these. I did end up adding a sunflower and some raffia and of course some greenery. And I just think these are the cutest. They remind me of like a good rustic farmhouse craft, which I love. And for the last 2 pieces of Scrapwood, I'm going to go ahead and paint them both white with, of course, Waverly chalk paint. I'm pretty sure acrylic paint would work just as good. I just really don't buy acrylic paint. It is chalk paint all the way. I have a few, but I just prefer this, so it's what I buy. And I think it just goes on a lot better, and I don't need to do like 3 or 4 coats. So 1 coat was good enough for these. This one is the simplest project, so I figured that I would save it for last. I got on my Cricut, typed in ghost faces, and a few, or actually a ton of different ones that popped up, but these are the 2 that I just kind of liked. I feel like the one on the left is kind of like scary, and then the other one is just kind of cute. I don't know what it is about them, but I think ghosts are probably my favorite thing when it comes to Halloween. Some of them are just so adorable, you just can't help it. But I use my Cricut, and then I just measure the wood piece and then size the faces. And then I figured if they were too small, it'd be okay. If it was too big, it obviously wouldn't fit. So they end up working out perfect. And I just thought this was so simple to do. And now I have some really cute Halloween and fall decor. You guys, that is it for the video. If you liked it, I would love if you give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, I would love if you consider sticking around and subscribing. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.